Napoli. I was there last night, and I saw the reaction of the audience. Did you like the kind of experience of watching, a reaction live with the audience?
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best because by the time that you finish your movie, and in post production, it's such a lonely an isolating experience that you're craving to show it to the audience, and finally when you see the reactions, you know that all that effort was worth it.
And also you get reactions where you didn't expect to get reactions. That's fascinating. That's that makes it all worth it.
So it's been a long journey, I guess, and with chapter 1 everything was a bit up in the air, and after that success I was wondering how that huge success influenced the making of this movie. Did you get to do anything that you didn't get to do the first time around?
Yeah.
And so what was it like?
Well, due to the success of the first one, we had larger resources, bigger resources.
A little larger,
a little bit, yeah. But basically, I was in the first one as happy I am with the movie. I had like a few limitations, budgetary limitations, that were less in the second one. So I could shoot more. I could include certain scenes that I couldn't do in the first one. That are very connected to the emotional beats of the losers as a group, and so it was great.
This time we got adult losers, but also the kids once again. But because of the fact that kids grow up so fast, do you feel any pressure about making sure that everything was consistent, even in terms of makeup, of hair, even because you basically filmed this like 2 years after the first one, right?
Yeah.
So
there was a release date, and that was enough pressure already. So they put the release date, but together with that, we were always saying we need to shoot the kids as soon as possible because they are growing so savagely fast.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was for me. It was all fun to figure out the consistencies of the characters, the differences of the characters as grown-ups and kids, and it was all fun,
And we saw even from the footage from yesterday, there's some comedy here. So was it challenging to strike a balance between serious moments, darkness and light? Did you have the kind of conversation about?
No, it's not. It doesn't. It's not difficult. It comes naturally to me. Possibly because I am. Yeah, possibly because I'm very. I grew up reading Stephen King. I grew up in the '80s, where movies, they had a bit of everything, and even horror movies. They had there's a lot of horror comedy movies from the '80s that I really was impacted by.
And also, his favorite film is Il Sorpasso, which is,
really?
this great comedy, but that ends in a tragedy.
Well, Il Sorpasso is it's a dramedy, if you will. It's like the hybrid of these two things that go together, and it's basically a reflection of life. But yeah, the balance is something that just sort of comes naturally.
Yeah, and keep talking about darkness. Pennywise comes back, of course. Did you take this moment to tell more about the mythology of the character this time around?
A little bit, yeah. There's something that very cryptic about it and Pennywise and Bob Gray in the book, and I didn't want to go too much because there's a very fine balance. People want to know more, but then when you tell them a little too much, they don't like it.
I don't want to know.
Right.
Yes.
Because they still want the mystery.
Yeah.
And this is what really I'm fascinated about with the book. It's like the mystery.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, exactly. And talking about the balance between what fans want, but also at the same time, you have to change something in order to serve the story better, I guess. So was it difficult to strike that balance?
There were. It was challenging because in order to make a movie out of the second part of the story, I needed to like basically turn some screws to generate tension, to make it more interesting. So there's a couple of twists there and like basically detours in the story or departures from the original book that people might not expect. But it's good. The spirit of the story is still respected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.